when a narcissistic man knows you're becoming stronger. There comes a moment when a narcissistic man realizes that something about you has changed. You never announce your transformation, but he slowly senses it through your behavior. Your reactions become calmer, and his words no longer control your emotional state. His silence once created anxiety, but now you simply continue with your day. He notices that you no longer chase him whenever he suddenly becomes distant. Think about an ordinary morning when you wake up and check your phone. You notice that he has not responded to your message from last night. Previously, you might have checked his online status and reread your conversation. You might have sent another message just to understand his sudden silence. But now, you put your phone down and continue with your morning. You make your coffee, get dressed, and prepare yourself for another normal day. You go to work without allowing his silence to occupy your entire mind. That small change reveals something important about your emotional growth. He realizes that his silence no longer has the same power over you. When someone loses emotional influence, they may begin testing your boundaries. He might suddenly become cold, hoping you will become anxious and start chasing. He may cancel plans unexpectedly and wait for you to react emotionally. But this time, you respond differently because you understand what is happening. You do not immediately argue, explain, apologize, or desperately seek reassurance. Instead, you continue your responsibilities and allow his behavior to remain his responsibility. Sometimes, he may suddenly become affectionate when he senses your emotional distance. He may send sweet messages and remind you about beautiful memories together. For a moment, you might believe that he has finally understood your value. But your new strength teaches you to look beyond emotional words. You start watching whether his actions actually match the promises he makes. Consistent behavior usually reveals what someone genuinely intends to offer. As you become stronger, your boundaries also become much clearer than before. You stop accepting disrespect simply because you happen to love someone deeply. You stop explaining every personal choice because you fear their negative reaction. You begin saying no without feeling guilty about protecting your emotional well-being. And this is when he may tell you that you have changed. He might call you cold, selfish, distant, or unnecessarily complicated. But perhaps you have changed because you finally stopped abandoning yourself. Your transformation also begins appearing throughout your ordinary daily routine. You spend more time with friends and focus more seriously on your goals. You return to hobbies that you abandoned while focusing completely on him. You enjoy your morning coffee without constantly checking whether he has responded. You finish your work without carrying yesterday's argument throughout the entire day. You begin sleeping peacefully because your mind is no longer constantly analyzing him. Eventually, he notices that your happiness no longer depends upon him. He sees that you have plans, friendships, interests, and goals outside the relationship. He realizes that your life continues even when he is not present. That realization can make him suddenly more curious about your daily activities. He may ask where you are going and who you are spending time with. He may even become jealous because your attention is no longer exclusively available. But you are no longer desperate to explain every part of your life. You understand that healthy relationships require trust rather than constant emotional surveillance. He may also start mentioning your insecurities, mistakes, weaknesses, or uncomfortable moments. He may criticize your appearance or question decisions you confidently made. He may compare you with others to make you question your own value. However, you have started pausing before believing everything another person tells you. You ask whether the criticism is genuinely helpful or intentionally destructive. You begin trusting your own experiences and perceptions much more than before. You can hear criticism without allowing it to destroy your self-esteem. That is what emotional strength really begins to look like. It does not mean you stop feeling emotions or become completely unaffected. It means your emotions no longer control every decision you make. Eventually, you become calmer because you stop trying to solve everything immediately. Instead of arguing for hours, you recognize when the conversation has become unhealthy. Instead of sending multiple messages, you communicate clearly and then step away. Instead of staying awake all night, you choose to protect your peace. There may come another moment when he suddenly becomes extremely vulnerable. He may tell you that he is terrified of losing you forever. He may promise that everything will finally become different between you. Those words can feel powerful because they touch the emotions you still carry, but your strength now encourages you to watch what happens afterward. You understand that genuine change should survive beyond emotional conversations and promises. Real change appears when someone becomes frustrated and still respects your boundaries. That is why you begin judging behavior rather than simply believing emotional promises. Perhaps the biggest sign of your strength is what you stop doing. You stop trying to convince him that you deserve respect and genuine affection. You stop changing your personality simply to prevent someone else's bad behavior. You finally understand that you cannot build healthy love by shrinking yourself. Your strength becomes visible through the peaceful way you live your life. You wake up without immediately worrying about what someone else is thinking. You work without carrying relationship anxiety into every responsibility you have. You spend time with friends without feeling guilty about enjoying yourself. You make decisions without constantly imagining how another person might react. Slowly, you realize that your life was always bigger than this relationship. Your identity existed before someone else entered your life. Your dreams deserve attention regardless of another person's approval. Protecting your peace is not selfishness, it is self-respect. When a narcissistic man notices your transformation, he may notice it before you. He may recognize that the woman he once influenced is becoming emotionally independent, but your goal should never be making him uncomfortable or afraid of losing you. Your goal should be becoming strong enough that you never lose yourself again. You are not becoming stronger so that he will finally appreciate you. You are becoming stronger because your confidence, peace, and happiness genuinely matter. Perhaps the strongest version of you will not become louder. She will simply become calmer, wiser, and much harder to manipulate. She stops chasing because she no longer needs constant reassurance from anyone. She stops begging because she finally understands that love should feel mutual. She stops over-explaining because she trusts herself enough to accept her decisions. She stops doubting herself because she recognizes unhealthy patterns. And eventually, she starts living again without asking permission to feel happy. He is no longer dealing with the woman he once knew. He is dealing with someone who has finally remembered her own strength.